Hello and bienvenidos to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. Now let's get started with our first question. What is my relationship with risk? What is my relationship with risk? So this morning I happened upon a LinkedIn post and the headline was, it was from a TED conference talk that was posted. And the headline had this question: how powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think? And I immediately thought, how powerful would our world be if we had adults who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think? And it's interesting because one of the reasons that I chose to work with adults, this work I meant to do, is really geared towards people who, are in their late 20s, in their and beyond, right? But specifically to adults is because I had such an issue and still do with this idea that we have in society that adults are just supposed to have it figured out. And if you don't have it figured out by a certain age, there is no help for you. There are no programs. There are no, oh, well, you're just young. And you can probably hear it in my voice. I really get fired up about this topic where I do feel, obviously, you should help whoever you're meant to help. And kids are very important in our, the people who we are meant to help. But it just really hurts because being an adult is hard, really, really hard. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it is hard. And I just feel this urge to help us through this part of our lives where I really feel like society just forgets about us. So that's the context of that particular question. And when you're thinking about your relationship to risk, I'm sure as an adult, you can resonate with the fact that you had dreams as a child. You had hopes and aspirations for how your adult life would look. And then you got to adulthood and it looked nothing like it was when you were a child, right? And as an adult, having that history of, going after something you want and being told over and over you can't have it, or having it play out in a completely different way, it's very, very difficult to dream again and to put effort towards making a plan to change your life. And that is really why I do this work and why it's so important, because I've had my dreams completely crushed over and over and over again. And I've really had to embrace that inner child in me to say, look, take the risk, do it afraid, do it unclear, just take the risk, right? So I really challenge you to look at this question and explore it in whatever way works best for you. And as you're thinking about your relationship with risk, I'm definitely not a proponent of, jumping off a cliff without a parachute. Like I'm not that type of risk taker, but I absolutely want you to understand tomorrow is not promised. So if you're afraid to take a risk on whatever it is, another question that could be helpful to you is, what is the simplest step, the smallest step that I could take today towards my goal, towards my dream? So really hope this episode was helpful for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this episode wherever you're listening to my words. And if this was helpful for you, please share it, especially this episode, talking about really the challenges of being an adult, and that there is hope and there are ways to dream again and to make whatever life you want to live a reality for yourself. So if it was helpful, please share it. And until next time, take care.